Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast, where we dive into the wild world of wrestling, the only sport where threatening a child can make you the most beloved face in the business. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of wrestling storylines, analyze jaw-dropping matches, and speculate wildly on who's going to turn heel next. Get ready for a ringside seat to the excitement and absurdity of wrestling with us every week.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. As you know, I'm your main host, Mike GCWP on Twitter. Gonna let the guys introduce themselves.
I'm Blake, BCX on Twitter. It's good to be back.
I'm Dan, Danwell KC on Twitter. I'm the guy who pisses off all the transphobes.
Yeah, I'm Andy, Ric Flair, Andy on Twitter, and yeah, probably best not talking about my Twitter.
Yep, Brett. Name is Brett. Follow me on Twitter at thatbaldbro. And this Saturday, instead of watching SummerSlam, I was getting drunk on a boat with my family and girlfriend.
And I'm Wrestling Mark, and I'm going to really piss off Eric Bischoff at about 4 a.m. UK time this Saturday morning.
Very
I'll
good
wait for
use
that.
of your time.
It's going to be brilliant, though.
I'm not even lying. I'm not staying up to watch Rampage this weekend. It's my wife's birthday on Saturday, but I am going to set an alarm. I'm going to press send, and I'm going to go back to sleep at 4 a.m.
Nice.
I love that.
Wait for the shitstorm to blow
It's
up.
going to be brilliant, this.
I can't wait for that. That's gonna be fucking unbelievable.
You're going to have an army of people attacking you, telling you it wasn't Eric Bischoff's fault. He wasn't there
Oh,
at that point.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll get told how good Thunder's ratings were. It's all good. It's all part of the fun. It's all shits and giggles.
Oh yeah. Because cable TV ratings matter in 2024, don't they?
100%. That's the definition of that defines quality. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never decide if I've liked something until I know what the ratings are. Otherwise, what's the point? You're wasting your life.
I don't like wrestling. I prefer it when it's like 8 hours and you only have an hour of wrestling. I prefer it when they just talk to each other for a good 7 hours.
Well, I have a
That's
show
where
for
I
you.
get my kick out of wrestling. Not the actual wrestling part. It's the pantomime shit and bollocks. I love that stuff, man. 7 hours of talking. Wow.
Well, that leads us into what happened this past weekend, wasn't it? It was only about an hour of wrestling on that show, wasn't it?
78
very
minutes
good
was
wrestling,
apparently.
maybe.
That's what Twitter told me.
Blimey.
Eight
That's
hours
wild,
show.
you know.
Roman Reigns did a run-in and slowly walked to the ring. A run-in to make a save, and he slowly walked to the ring, which was a choice.
Mark, though, it's aura, though, isn't it, mate?
Aura,
It's so
bro,
much aura when he was walking to the ring. No one could get up.
Oh, there's no
Can't
there's no cinema if he's running full speed to the ring. Okay, you gotta.
Yeah.
When Randy Orton came in and made the save earlier in the match, he looked like an absolute tit running to the ring the way he was. You could tell he's really uncomfortable doing that because it kind of goes against what Randy Orton's about because he's very laid back and with his languid style. So it did kind of contradict his style running to the ring. And but very quickly, did Def Rebel actually fuck with Roman's theme tune?
Yep.
Yeah,
Why?
more drums.
That's weird. I don't know. Each their own.
Because we can't
Anyway,
have nice things. We can't have nice things as wrestling fans. A 4-year banger of a opening of entrance music is like, nah, we gotta fuck it up.
I mean, they're so bad. And the one time they've done one that's universally liked, and then they change it for a big I don't know, weird choice, but yeah, Def Rebel are weird. So yeah.
You would think for a comeback, you wouldn't change anything. You'd want it as close to what
100%.
You remember.
They did that with someone else I don't know if it was I think, did they keep Naomi's theme tune in the Rumble and then change it the following week when she came out, I think, which was, again, certainly a choice.
Speaking of theme tunes, Sheamus' new one is fucking shit.
Of course it is. Def Rebel don't make good theme tunes, do they? But anyway, let's stay on the subject of SummerSlam then. Saturday night I thought it was a good night I enjoyed the whole night. I thought it was the best Collision for quite a while. And I wasn't appalled by SummerSlam, or I wasn't bored even. I mean, I thought it was very Vince Russo-esque booking with all bar in one match having outside interference. But I don't know. What did you lot think of it?
Well, my take's going to be really quick, to be honest, Mark, because I actually didn't watch it, so I can pretty much sit out this conversation. But I'm just going to sit here and listen to all the hot takes that are coming my way.
So carry on. Who did watch it? Was it just someone else on there must have watched it apart from me? Because Brett, I know you didn't watch it.
I skimmed it.
You didn't watch it.
I skimmed it. I skimmed through it the next day. I was in Greece, wasn't I? Right. So I watched Collision.
Okay.
And I wasn't sitting and watching SummerSlam. I skimmed it. There's some bits that looked all right. Some bits that just didn't do anything for me, and I fast forwarded a hell of a lot of it. The big takeaway I would have from it, to be honest, is that Roman Reigns, as much as he bores the life out of me, it's his character, obviously not him. It's the way he's, been written. I just find it dull. I find a lot of Bloodline stuff dull, outside of The Rock turning up and the Sammy stuff.
It's like a shit version of 2022 Elite.
It reminds me of NWO Wolfpack now. It's got ridiculous, and I think that when Roman turns up, that shows it bringing him back is bad because it shows up the other guys for how bad they are. Because when he turns up, he looks like I don't want to go back. I fucking hate that word. It's there with him. It's not there with the others. They don't look like they belong in the same.
Jacob, there's a lot. He's very good. There's something about him, but Solo and the other two, it's just not. There's not enough to them. They're a mid-card stable, aren't they? Without Roman, that's a mid-card lineup.
It reminds me of Wolfpack when they had the Disco Inferno. That's what it reminds me of.
What a low point that is.
They just don't belong in that spot on the card for me at all, and it's shown up when someone like Roman does turn up.
And the second best person in the Bloodline got injured.
Yeah, and it looked like quite a bad injury. I get the feeling they probably had to ad-lib a bit of what was happening at the end because of that injury, because you could tell immediately he's badly fucked here. There's no, you could tell he'd gone off script. He was angry. He knew I've done something bad here. And I'm
tried getting up 3
really
times and he just couldn't.
I'm assuming that really affected what they were planning at the end of the show, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what it would have been, but I'm assuming that there was something done slightly different. They had to very quickly alter it because that had happened, and that's pretty unfortunate because it was obviously quite a big moment. But I don't know if Roman was meant to come down. I don't know. I will never know.
There's a few bad moments though, wasn't there? I mean, the other one that stood out. I know it's been shared everywhere, but I've seen it when I was skimming through because the Gunter match, was actually one that I was interested in.
Yeah.
That pin, like what was going on with that pin when he rolls him? It rolls him over. It rolls him to the ropes before trying to pin him. What's going on there?
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, I thought that match was comfortably the best match of the night, but that was really sloppy from them that they didn't execute the move a bit nearer to the rope because it looked. You knew obviously what was going to happen then because of the way he moved him over there. So as soon as you did that,
it looked like Gunter was trying to roll himself over. And it would have been better if he just kind of waited for a minute and let him try and do it himself, rather than pushing him to the ropes himself.
I thought that Rhea Liv stuff was fucking awful. It makes no sense. You've had months of Dom essentially being sexually harassed by Liv Morgan, because that's what it is. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. She's been sexually harassing Dom for a couple of months now, and then at the big pay-per-view, Dom's like, "I'm going to side with my harasser over me bad," for lack of a better term.
I was gonna say, when you look at Dom, the past 2 to 3 years, he has sided with his harasser the whole time. Because let's remember how he got into the Judgment Day. Like Rhea was, harassing him like the whole time up until he joined, and that's how he started. So him doing the Liv stuff, it's the same old story once again. But now it's just Liv. So it's. You know what? It's more of like a damn, I don't know. He has victim mentality or something like that. Or I don't know. Maybe he just likes being the one dominated and maybe knock down a peg or two. Maybe that's what gets him on. I mean, each is their own. But yeah, he's always been with whether it was Rhea 2 years ago or now Liv, he's always with the one that just, harasses him, stalks him, all this other crap. So kind of fits in with Dom, how he's been acting the past couple of years.
I think it'll be interesting to see what they say on Raw this week in terms of, because obviously he'll get a mic, I'd assume, tonight to explain his actions, and it could just be that he's been with her the whole time in this, and he's just been waiting for the the ultimate opportunity to humiliate Rhea, I suppose, and like he wasn't giving anything away before on screen, but he was already with her. I don't know. We'll see what they say tonight. It might just be they roll out the kind of typical WWE promo style bullshit that doesn't really make much sense, but they could add some layers to it, because like, I saw someone put up a picture of like when I mean, it might be just fortune, but there was something about how he helped Liv beat Becky before, him pointing at the mirror, at the chair and stuff. So if they touch on that and they say this has been like a long story just to humiliate Rhea as revenge for what she did to him, I don't know, we'll see. But I'll be interested to see what they say tonight, because I definitely enjoyed that nonsense a lot more than other people, I think.
I mean,
Well, they just
I'd
need
say,
a therapist.
probably, but I was gonna say I would love it if when Dom comes to the ringside, he just comes out with a big ass plate of chicken nuggets. Just eating them. You know, I don't know if you saw the picture that Dom posted. He was in he was in Liv's hotel room with like 3 plates of like nuggets. Like, just come out with a big ass plate of chicken nuggets. Like, you know, and yeah, that would pop.
Yeah, well, didn't he? There wasn't the comment something like she gets me or she understands me or something like that.
Yeah. He said, he put the caption. Yeah, she gets me. She understands me.
So
I'd love it if that's his answer. If he comes down and they say, like, explain, yeah, well, she gets me chicken nuggets. What else am I going to do?
Anyway, well, I thought SummerSlam was decent, but as not many people touched on it here, maybe we go to earlier in the evening, and I thought for a pre-record, personally, I thought that was one of the best collisions for quite a while. They actually told stories this week on it. It wasn't just a few fun matches. There was actually a bit of progression, and yeah, I still don't know how I feel about the residency there, because it just feels, because it obviously wasn't full up this week. There was about 800-900 there instead of 1,300. It does. I still don't know if I like it there or not. I don't know what you lot's thoughts are on it.
I don't mind it, but it's the thing with the attendance is if it's in the same place every week, you're going to start to get attendances dropping, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because Ring of Honor's there as well,
Yeah.
and the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and like people aren't going to be able to go. Well, you would assume they aren't going to be able to go every week.
Yeah, because there's only so much money you've got to spend surplus.
The tickets are, to be fair, the tickets are the most expensive ticket at the start was $55. There was nothing more than that. Even front row was $55.
Well, something also to consider is that like, remember, it was pre-recorded, and they're doing multiple tapings a day, not just for Collision, but for Ring of Honor as well. Like, so they'll, you know, it could have been a case where maybe earlier in that day they did like back-to-back recordings of like Ring of Honor, and, you know, maybe just people got tired, and, you know, by the time Collision came, you know, maybe a few people had left.
It was recorded early in the day as well, so you've got it was like 5 p.m. Texas when it was recorded. I'm like, that's not easy for people to get to as well.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, I mean, because normally the start time here is 8 o'clock. So, well, I mean, 3 hour difference. I mean, well, no, it aired at 5 o'clock. It aired at 5. So it was recorded on Thursday.
I think it said 5. I think it said 5 p.m. local time, because I remember I looked to see how the tickets were doing last week and realized, this is not going to be a sellout this time.
Because
pre-records aren't as tasty as anyway, because you do feel like if you're thinking, if I'm going to go to 3 or 4 of these, I'm not going to go to the pre-recorded one, because less stuff's going to happen at a pre-recorded, albeit this kind of contradicted that, because it was probably the most newsworthy episode of the 3 they've had there so far.
It was excellent, yeah.
Wait, is Collision now just pre-recorded?
No,
it varies.
Yeah, it was this week. It was recorded on Thursday, because, you know, think about it, you're not going to run a live Collision to run against SummerSlam. You know, regardless, it was going to be a bad number, you know, rating wise. But no, like, it was an excellent edition of Collision. I mean, how it started, I loved it with starting with the trio starters with Christian Cage giving the titles. First off, the speech that he gave to Nick Wayne. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Nick, he was corpsing throughout his whole.
He always does.
Yeah, he always does. But it's like, put yourself in his shoes. Like, I would do the same thing. Like, the way he's talking me up. Like, and remember, he's only a 19-year-old kid at that. So
This is exactly it. It's just, Nick Wayne. He's nuts. Like, I've seen him have some like incredible matches in like GCW, not affiliated with the podcast, by the way, just for clarity. Like in actual GCW matches, and he's incredible. Like he's so talented. Like he is, because he has that sort of, I hate using the word, but it is aura. He is like, he has all of the tools to be that person and to be able to work with someone with the, like the prestige and the, like the noteworthiness of Christian Cage must just be incredible for a 19-year-old kid. In fact, it's been longer than that. It's probably since he was 18. He's been affiliated with him, and he's just killing it. And also just the line that Christian cut on Brody, calling him Jelly Roll, made me cry laugh.
Well, even before that bit, like I said, when Christian gave the belts out to his family, he gives the first belt to Nick Wayne, and then the next one he's talking up Kill Switch, and he says basically fuck off, and he gives the last belt to Mother Wayne. I was like, oh, this fucking guy.
Such a Christian thing to do.
You could see it coming a mile off as well, and it was even though you could see exactly what was happening, it was brilliant. It was so Luchasaurus getting really excited, and then he gets a hug, and he's made up with her, and he's waiting for the belt. I say, yeah, sorry, mate, you didn't give birth to a prodigy.
Do you guys think it will be Wembley when Killswitch Luchasaurus turns on Christian?
I do.
Yeah.
But you see my bizarre theory, didn't you? I think he might join the House of Black.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad shout, to be fair.
It's a very out there theory. So I don't know, because Wembley, okay, logically you would think, that makes a good spot to do the turn. But I don't know, if you look at how the patriarchy has been sort of loosely affiliated with the elite, right? None of Christian and the patriarchy's interactions with the elite have involved Jack Perry, because there's obviously history there. I think there's more. I hope there is, because I think that the stories you can tell with Jack and his new character, Christian, with the character that he's evolved into, and plus throwing Copeland into the mix. I think they could drag this out for a little longer. Whether Killswitch is involved or not, I don't know, but he has that history with Jack Perry. So there's lots of moving parts here, and I think whoever comes out of this, babyface or heel, there's lots of stories to be told. And I think Jack has the TNT title, which the one you can argue that Christian made famous. If it was up to me, I think I would start over the next sort of few months trying to build something down the line between those two, certainly, and then that's what sort of kicks Killswitch or Luchasaurus turning on Christian. That's just my opinion, but
I think Jack's a heel, though, isn't he? So I'm not sure. I don't know the word.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like with him being part of the elite at the moment. He's not going to be a face, is he? So
this is it.
You'd need Luchasaurus to turn face, but you'd also need Luchasaurus to have a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
But who could be Luchasaurus'
I keep seeing people
mouthpiece?
talking about pairing him up with Beast Mortos, and I can't disagree with that either, because
that would be good.
Matey's been my favourite wrestler in the last sort of 3 weeks, I think.
But then you still need a manager, because none of them talk.
Oh yeah,
that's
sure.
why
You know what?
that's why I'd love him to join the House of Black, just because I think we free one of them up. I assume it would be Malachi to actually, if he's fully into it now and they're all re-signed.
There's a reason that he's not having singles matches, though. There must be something to it. He's like, look, he's not my favorite wrestler. He never will be. But his NXT run said, like, we know the dude can go. How old is he now?
That's loose, to be honest.
He's in his 40s, isn't he?
He's not old.
He's got back problems, hasn't he? Or he's had back problems quite badly, apparently. Because that was his thing, wasn't it? When people would sit under the impression he was, trying to get out because Papa H has been on the phone, that he was like, no, it's not. Nothing like that at all.
It's a weird one with Malachi, because there's lots of conflicting reports about his contract status and whether he's happy or not. But I don't know, man. Like the first of all, the cage match he had with Copeland at Double or Nothing was great fun. Like I loved that.
Yeah,
and it looks like he really sort of gave a shit about it. You could tell. And the match the week before, earlier that week, where they had with Kyle O'Reilly, it looked like he was really giving it his all. And even in when he's been doing tags with Brody, he started doing more of his NXT moveset. Like he started doing the second rope moonsault. He started doing a lot more of this other sort of athletic stuff. So I don't know whether it's a case of that he's a bit more healed up now. He's been allowed to sort of heal up a bit properly or whatever. Or that he's, and the fact that Buddy's re-signed suggests that, well, okay, people who like to make shit up and position the fact that wrestlers are unhappy when they themselves probably know better than they do. Part of me thinks Malachi, you know what, I'm just going to make the most of this, whether he does leave or not in next year or whenever it is.
It seems he's got another 2 years left, so he might as well just start fucking doing something.
Yeah, he's 39 for the record.
The initial reports for 2027. So
yeah,
I mean that's the thing. No one fucking knows until they want them to know. Like Sean will get it. Sean will get something eventually. But again, and if he doesn't know definitively, no one's going to know definitively.
Let's say that, and the fact that apparently Tony adds on, or he has the choice of adding on time when they've been out injured, and he's been out injured loads, man. They've all missed loads of time.
Yeah.
It's the same with Keith Lee. It's the same with Keith Lee and Miro and people who you may sort of think they're more WWE guys, and they came to AEW when Vince let them out of their contracts or released them. Well, they think now that Vince is no longer in the picture, they think, well, as soon as their contract's up, are they going to go back and pick up where they left off? But I don't know. Look at Andrade, man. Like the grass isn't always greener.
No, it's definitely not.
As I've said in the past, my ideal situation would be Luchasaurus turns, joins the House of Black, because they seem to be faces now, or at least that's the way they're heading. Give them a cool mask that fits in with that look. You can have Julia silently leading them, as she has been. She's the mouthpiece, but not really. And then I would give Buddy the fucking rocket strap. Buddy can have the singles run, because as I've said to you before, he's the most committed, dedicated man on that roster. Resigning while his wife is with the Weinsteins. What a man!
Yeah, he's so good as well. He never gets a chance. He's got the best physique in wrestling as well. He's such a good wrestler. He never ever has a bad singles match. He's so good. From the first time I saw him at Super Showdown in Australia, I think it was. I'm like, this guy. Why is this guy being weighted in 205 Live? This guy's ridiculously talented. But so wait, are we all in agreement that it's going to be? Do we think it's going to be a 3-way trios match now at All In?
Yeah, and I think it'll be fucking good as well.
What do we think is going to happen there for it? Because I mean, for me, with 9 men, that needs a stipulation. I'll be surprised if we've got 9 men with 7 standing around the ring the whole time. What do you lot think?
That'll be a ladder
tornado, 1/4 of the finish style, or if you want to do a ladder, it's not the end of the
ladder. Would be fucking mint.
A ladder's been the last 2. A ladder's been the last 2 pay-per-views. They had a ladder match at Forbidden Door. They had a ladder match at Double or Nothing.
Tables, man.
What would you lot think about this very unorthodox thought that someone put this in my comments? So I can't even take credit for this. But when I heard it, I was at least entertained by the thought of it. A stadium stampede match between all 3 teams.
Oh, fuck me.
That's a good show.
Yeah. That'd be really
fantastic.
Good. I can't lie. I'm a really big fan of elimination matches.
Yeah, same.
AEW literally never do them, do they?
No, I'd love an elimination match between them.
Yeah.
It comes down to like a 3v2v1, and you've got the 2-1 teaming up against the 3, even though they're all against I just feel like stuff like that is a cool way of telling a story.
You're exactly right there.
And with the House of Black being I suppose the Guns are faces now, aren't they, as well? But if the House of Black are the team they're pushing as the faces of this, you would have a situation where Mother Wayne is helping out, the patriarchy, and maybe Julia returns if she's fit to.
As though she's returning. I've seen posts on her like Instagram and Twitter and stuff that she seems to be getting back into the gym and all that lot. So
there you go. She can turn up and send Mother Wayne packing, and then
doesn't have to do anything physical. Just spit mist in her face or something.
And that'll be a great pop as well. But I think Stadium Stampede match. There's no way that Tony Khan's going to have a stadium and not do a Stadium Stampede match. And there's nothing else really that's even in. Like, I originally thought, would it end up being Team Willow v Team Stat? But I'm like, they're leaving that too late. There's not enough story there. A Stadium Stampede shouldn't be something you force the issue right at the death. It should be something that we're building towards a match now between those 3 teams. Like I just think it'll be a bit unorthodox. It'll be a bit different. And there's enough people that would be in that match that could make it pretty entertaining.
I agree with that. I agree what you say about it shouldn't be forced either, because that's basically what we felt like Blood and Guts was last week.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like it was just shoved in, to fit a time scale rather, a schedule rather than actually a reason. Whereas a Stadium Stampede for these guys would be brilliant.
And you could also use all 4 Bullet Club Gold members in a Stadium Stampede. because you could outside interference, and you could the elite could also help the patriarchy. You could have loads of shit happen.
Yeah,
it could be really, really fucking fun. That actually.
Yeah, I just obviously because one of the glaring one of the glaring sort of omissions from the Collision segment was obviously Jay White, because obviously he is hurt. So by all accounts, it's not like a serious injury, and he's not expected to miss a huge amount of time. But if we get a Jay White return at Wembley, I'm there. Dude is incredible, and because this whole belt fiasco, the confusion with the trios belts, like the like the splitting and the the unmerging of them, if you like. They if this is a whole way to give Jay a singles run, then I'm all for it. But there's unfinished business. That stare down that he had with Christian a few weeks ago on a Dynamite when he beat Rey Fenix, for me, was one of my favorite segments, because I fucking love those two, and they just they just gel so well together. And it's one of those things where I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, and now I want more. So please, Jay White, return at Wembley.
I disagree with Kill Switch joining House of Black. Me personally, throw him in the conglomeration, man. Give Mark Briscoe a dinosaur and let him run loose.
Actually,
listen,
I
love. Listen, like you got Mark, you got Ishii, you got Orange, you got Kyle. Just you throw in Kill Switch right there, and that's the damn best faction in all of wrestling right there.
Like, I think they're my favorite.
And you know what? And then you let Kill Switch. Well, obviously he'll be back. He'll be Luchasaurus again, and you let him talk, because if you ever heard Luchasaurus talk, like he has a master's degree. Like, let him just go off on one of those tangents, and then you just keep the camera on Kyle's expressions as well. But yeah,
at 65 million years old. At 65 million years old, he's got a lot to offer, hasn't he?
Exactly.
He's brilliant. I've said before, I'm a huge fan of his. He's so good in the ring for his size. Some of the stuff he does is incredible, and I don't think he gets half the credit because he wears a mask and stays quiet.
All right. Speaking of returns, we've talked about Julia. We've talked about Jay. There's one left, and he's arguably the greatest ever to do it. And he's been beefing with a lot of people on Twitter.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
And he's been beefing before he left to get surgery. What are we saying about, by God, Kenny Omega?
Mate, well, you can't not do Wembley and not have Kenny at least appear. And also Copeland as well. He deserves a shout out, because here in Metalingus at Wembley would be. But yeah, Kenny's the one that I want. I mean, there's about 20 people that I want to see in AEW who aren't there at the moment, because the roster's just too stacked. But yeah, Kenny, you're right. He is the GOAT. And even if it's just to cost the Young Bucks or to cost Okada with whatever they end up doing, or even just like a stare down, give me it.
I think he appears. I don't think he wrestles, but yeah, I think he appears and sets in motion whatever the next stage is for Kenny Omega, which hopefully
should be Okada.
I was just going to say, hopefully
Okada's the only. It's the only option when he comes back, because remember, that was his last appearance on Dynamite back in May. That little confrontation they had to go off the show. Like we need Omega and Okada. Like
that was the original plan for Wembley, wasn't it? That was what they initially planned to do, and then he's not far off. They said he's only a few weeks out, so
I just had a Urethra moment. Wrestle Dream.
Wait, do you mean a Eureka moment or a Eureka
moment?
I forgot the fucking word, lad. I just had a moment, a spark in my brain just went. Wrestle Dream, Gabe Kidd.
That's a clip and a half
versus Kenny Omega. I just had a spark in my brain that just went. Kenny Omega's first match back's going to be against Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dream.
Oh. He wants MJF though, doesn't he, Gabe Kidd? I mean, that seems to be the one.
He's been beefing with Kenny as well.
Yeah, they've been beefing on Twitter.
He said he was going to go to Kenny's house. He said he was going to go to Kenny's house because Kenny's injured and can't come out.
Who does he think he is? Tommy Robinson?
Well, trying to get to Hazard's house.
We've just lost all the racists who listen to our chat. Not that there's probably many, but still.
Good. Fuck off.
I hope the fucking statement on Twitter. I hope the statement on Twitter did that, lad. If you're a fucking bigot, don't listen to us. You're a fucking soft cunt.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Leave that in, Dan.
I'm going to leave it in. Don't you worry. This is not getting cut.
Make sure you leave in Blake saying he's just had a urethra.
No.
That's staying in there. That's staying in there.
Yeah.
It's not what
Anyway.
I meant. It's just not what I. What the fuck is that word? I'm googling it.
Eureka. I
That's
don't know.
the
Eureka.
one. That's the one.
That's the name.
Urethra is. Yeah, it's
I'm going to say urethra now every time I have a light bulb moment.
That's the title of the episode. There, I've just had a eureka
Please, yeah.
moment. Oh,
Yeah. Gonna get
Fuck's
some weird
sake.
looks on, other people looking at our podcast list, being like, "What are they talking about here?"
Just quick, just to get it in there, because we've accidentally just answered it. Shouts to the Shadow Saber on Twitter, who asked us what would our plans be for Kenny when he returns.
Oh well, I didn't say my plan. I just said what I thought would happen. My
Yeah,
plan
no,
is just give Kenny all the gold again. Just strap him with everything. The TNT title, give him the tag titles, Kota Ibushi, give him the world title, give him the women's title, give him everything. He's the company. He's the best in the world. He's the greatest ever. Fucking do it.
give him all the belts.
Every single belt,
give him
TBS title, women's title, anything. Give him
even
it.
have him going,
all the Ring of Honor, belts.
Everything, and just unify it.
as much as we've complained about Ring of Honor titles showing up on Dynamite, no, get them all on there just so Kenny can have more. And then he goes backstage. He does what MJF apparently does, breaks into the women's locker room, and any belts they've got to hold up the pants or the dresses, whatever. That's what he takes as well. He takes all them. He takes all the belts. Then he goes into the men's locker room, takes all them, punches a door or a wall, and then he goes and finds some more belts. And he goes to the cars outside.
He takes Tony Khan's belt.
He takes all the belts from the engines in the cars. He's the belt collector. He's taking all the belts. Any belt in the world he's having.
Penny 30 belts over here.
And then he's going to grow large like a fucking Power Ranger villain and take Orion's belt.
Yes. And then we're going to cut to Alex Marvez trying to drive his rental car. Oh, it doesn't start. Why not? Because Kenny Omega's got your fan belt, lad.
Be a really fucking funny character though. I'd reckon
Kenny
he'd
just
love
opens
doing
his
it as
wardrobe
well.
and it's just there's no clothes in it. It's just belts.
Right, dead quick. Just go on to make this point before, and I got cut out on me mic. Don't you just love the fact that Beast Mortos is basically joined UK and replaced Wardlow, and nobody gives a shit?
No, yeah, it's
He's
brilliant.
much
Yeah.
fucking
He's better than Wardlow on any level.
He's better than Wardlow on the mic, and he doesn't even talk.
Yeah.
That's it. He can do a
That's
better
every
power bomb.
hologram,
He
that.
can do more moves. He's got experience. He can have a good match with anybody, and I'm excited to see what they do with Mark Briscoe and him.
Oh, that's going to be filthy, you know.
Oh, mate. Yeah. But
Gonna...
we were talking about how good Collision was, as it was, and we've, sidetracked for about 20 minutes. But yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
The Tony Mariah stuff was really fucking good. Really good.
Can I speak, Tony? Can I speak now?
Oh, man. How good was Nigel? Come on, Tony. Come on. What did you have to say to her, Tony? Come on. You wanted to say something to her, didn't you?
Nigel's the greatest thing on commentary.
He's just the number one instigator. Like, he's
man,
like, come on, Tony. Wait, tell us to speak up now. You can tell us to speak up.
Was there something you wanted to say to her, Tony? Go on, Tony. And he's just rubbing his hands together behind him, laughing his head off.
It's so good.
He's so great.
Nigel McGuinness is just that one dickhead mate every friendship group's got, innit?
Yeah.
That's all Nigel McGuinness is.
Adding fuel to fire.
Fucking shit year and a half, innit? Yeah. Aside from that stuff, though, how good was that segment? It was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
The whole with Tony Mariah thing. It's one of the best one of the storylines probably I've been most invested in a very long time. It's incredible.
Yeah, the Tony dive from the stage onto the concrete as well. That's fucked. It's so good.
We've missed a glaring bit on Collision where we talked about people doing cool shit like Beast Mortos, but how good is Hologram and how good were he and Mystico
really
together?
Fantastic!
Matey is going to be a star. He's going to be a star. I'm convinced.
He's so fucking class.
What I will say about Hologram, because I wanted to mention this before when we were talking about the attendance at the residency. I think that he's benefited the most from that residency, I think. And that tight, that like sort of close-knit, like the way the arena's set up, because obviously it's quite small, it's an esports arena. And you've got pure wrestling fans in there, and I think that's put him another level. Not that he's not brilliant, which he is, but I think that's made his opening weeks that much better.
It's helping his momentum, having people actually give a fuck.
It's been the best time to debut and keep running with him every week, and it's been brilliant.
He's had what three matches so far as hologram, like in AEW, and he's just been killing it all 3 times.
Is it not 4? Is it?
3 or 4. I know his debut was against Gringo Loco, and he did Beast Mortos, then the tag match. I know there was another match that he did. I'm just forgetting, but man, he's been just getting better.
Oh, he's incredible. Him and Mystico together were just that was great. Yeah. I could watch that for an hour.
It's like we were talking about. We need the lucha belt. Which Kenny eventually takes and just stores in his closet.
Kenny comes out in a mask. Yeah.
L Omega or something. I don't know. But
Kenny and Brian Danielson.
Character.
Yeah.
and Brian Danielson retires and comes back doing a Mr. America gimmick, obviously only not racist. And
Senor Mexico. Oh god, I'm not sure if to keep this in or not.
What was his lucha character he had on Dark when he just wanted to go out and wrestle as a lucha for a day? It was fucked. It was was it El Bastardo or something, or El Bastardio or something? Was it? Oh man, he did. He came out and wrestled one match as a lucha, and he had like a full, he had a full bodysuit on that, so people couldn't tell who he was, even though we knew, and a mask. And if he does retire, you never know, that guy might make a return. As long as we don't have Tony Khan putting him through a lie detector test, I'll be happy.
I'm all right with that.
Anyway, speaking of hologram, real quick, listen, impressive every week. At this point, what I want for him on All In, I want a damn Luchador Invitational. Like, just get everyone.
Yes,
absolutely.
Get hologram. Get Commander. Get Rey Fenix. If Vikingo is healthy at that point, throw him in there as well. Get Beast Mortos. Just the Luchador Invitational. No belt. No nothing.
Get Bandido back as well. Get Bandido.
Oh, Bandido, yeah, that's another one. But
you could ask CMLL if they could put a title on the line as well, and just have a massive.
This is the thing, though, isn't it?
Luchador match.
It's one of them because unless they're like affiliated with AAA in any way, they won't do it because that's why
they will now though because like Penta, Ray,
if they're like fully with AEW, because there are some on the roster I think who are still semi-affiliated. So
I think they'll do whatever AEW wants at this point because
because they benefited so much from this partnership. Yeah.
Well, Dave was saying they're absolutely fucking delighted with this. He said their business has gone through the roof since they started partnering with AEW.
Yeah, they've been getting MJF. They've been getting.
They fucking love that MJF.
They've gotten everyone. Like when you think about it, AEW has sent literally everyone. They sent Danielson, the entire Blackpool Combat Club. They sent over freaking Pac with the Death Triangle and MJF. It's like if Omega was healthy right now, he would have been gone.
Yeah, and Omega would have definitely gone.
Yeah,
speaking of Pac, did you see that slow motion finisher that they put on their Twitter?
Yes.
CML. Oh my god, it's literally perfect.
Pac is unbelievable.
I think they'd love it, CML, if AEW did do something with their wrestlers on All In. It's going
to be 50, 60,000 people there eventually. It'd be hard not to.
It's a good show.
Hechisero versus Zack Sabre Jr. or something. I don't know.
Well, I've actually got a good idea. I think it's a good idea anyway. You might disagree, or you might think I'm insane. But I think your idea of a Lucha Invitational is good. Just that maybe a 10-man Lucha eliminator with a title on the line, and the title is a new one we create for the Luchas called the Fuck Off Conan title.
Yeah.
The AAA AEW World
Title. Here's a perfect match title for the Lucha Casino Gauntlet match. Like the Luchador Casino Gauntlet match. There you go.
And the winner gets this CMLL World Title match.
No, the World Title is the What Comes Around Goes Around 2 title.
You can do that match, the Lucha Invitational. It can be any luchador, that's affiliated to CMLL, New Japan, and AEW, and the winner gets CMLL World Heavyweight Championship match.
You know what? Not even specifically like just luchadors, but just high flyers in general. Like, dude, you could throw in,
Yeah.
you could throw in Dante,
Dante.
you could throw in Dante, you could throw in Sammy Guevara. I mean, like that match was fun.
I was just looking at
see how many flips they can all do together.
Imagine the fume. The title holder is for CMLL, and he's had it for 634 days. That's crazy.
Imagine the fume if Vikingo is actually fit, and you did that, and he turned up out of the blue.
And he won, and then he went to CMLL.
They dropped the All Elite graphic after that. They dropped the All Elite graphic.
Conan
you
would
just watch
cry
Conan just throwing his toys out the pram. You imagine?
Fuck the All Elite graphic. You drop a graphic for the title match in this next CMLL.
And he's versus for the world title as well. That'd be
just
fucking
CMLL
incredible.
plastered all over it. Conan will be crying. He tweets straight away. What goes around comes around. 3.
And he's also still the world title holder, isn't he, for CMLL? Triple R.
That makes it even better. Fuck it.
That's so fucking good.
I know,
Puts
right?
that shit in
I
the
know.
bin.
Oh, just throws it in the bin. Yeah. That's just
like,
it. You know,
like the thing they did on WCW where they put the title in the bin.
Yep.
Conan's a fucking tit, man. He's fucking. Not only is he messaging people asking if they listen to his podcast, but like trying to suggest that AEW didn't send anyone there when they had fucking Kenny Omega, when he had every fucking title was there.
Yep, they had FTR win the belts there.
Yeah.
The
the belts there.
Was that the intergender match? Did Triple R have that, or was CMLL? The Sammy Guevara Tay one. They did get some really good fucking wrestlers. He was just a fucking prick.
He just can't book wrestling. He's awful.
They've still got fucking the biggest one from AEW next like literally the biggest one in Saturn Mountain. He's in the next fucking pay-per-view.
Hey, Kyle Fletcher's been there recently, and speaking of, he had a killer match with Brian Cage the other day. It wasn't either of their best work, but Kyle as a babyface, yeah, please.
Yeah, I can't wait for that United Empire reunion. Well, I say reunion, you know what I mean? Transferring over to AEW. But just as Andy said there, Brian Cage, man, what a 2024 that man's having.
He just he can't put a foot wrong at the moment.
He's a workhorse.
This is the most I've enjoyed Brian Cage in a long time.
Well, he puts a shift in every time, like, and he seems to be the guy that Tony goes to if he wants, if he's missing a man in like a random fucking 6-man. It's always we'll slap Brian Cage in there because he'll go in there and he'll do a fucking damn good job for you.
Yeah. Same with Archer, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Dependable. You just throw him in there. You know what you're going to get with him.
And Brian just never really seems to get injured, so he's just always reliable, always delivers, just committed. Like I saw him on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view in the 6-man for the TV title. He really put a shift in. Like fair props to the guy.
I think so many of us have done 180s on him from the time when he was the FTR champ, and it was a bit like a bit meh. But
he's just not a babyface for me. He just Ricky Stark should have been the babyface at that time. Yeah, he should have been the one to break away. He needed that run more than Brian did. But yeah, you're right. Thank God he's stuck around and he's actually in his position right now, which is just a dependable, mid-card guy who can put people over and look good doing it. So
since he came back after re-signing and after his injuries, he's been incredible. I'd actually love to see him get a push. I'd maybe, obviously once the Jack Perry stories progressed, I'd maybe love to see him with the TNT title for a bit.
Yeah. I've had another moment.
One Blake.
I'm saying Matt Davis returns All In.
Ooh.
Him and Kyle Fletcher both come out and attack the tag team, the tag champions, whoever they will be by the end of the show.
Not a bad idea,
Then you've got
Kefter doesn't have a direction at All In, does he? So I don't know whether they pull the trigger and do something where the Callis family implodes, and then you have Mark return, and then you do the face-off between United Empire and Callis family.
Something's brewing it at the moment because Don Callis clearly isn't happy that Kyle Fletcher's trying to help with Ospreay. He wants him to just leave him to,
Yeah, they're sowing the seeds, aren't they? They're definitely sowing the seeds.
And with Kyle Fletcher saying, Will Ospreay's his brother, it's his family, he'll do anything for him. And Callis looked really pissed when he said that.
Yeah.
They're waiting. They're waiting and buying time until Takeshita comes back from the G1.
And Hobbs as well, I think, until Hobbs is because Hobbs isn't far off by the looks of things.
No,
Yeah,
it feels like it doesn't feel that long that he's been off, but yeah, I mean, he had a pretty serious injury, but yeah, luckily that time seems to have flown by, and he should be nearing a return now.
Well,
I
Takeshita
don't
and
know
Hobbs-
about I don't know about Trent though. There's a bit of a grey area around Trent's status. But
I did a bit of googling then about Mark Davis, and it seems that he's aiming for a return at All In, at around the All In time is what people are saying.
What
So
about
that's what I'm
this?
thinking.
Takeshita and Hobbs, they kick Carl Fletcher out of the Callis family, beat the shit out of him. Mark Davis makes the save.
Oof.
Yeah, and then you do one of the trio is you do Will and Aussie Open as United Empire for the first time against Takeshita, Hobbs, and ideally Trent, but it's depending on Trent's status. But
no, I don't. I think you're close. You're close with that, but you're missing the little ingredient there of Don Callis's new and improved Will Ospreay's replacement. Because guess what he does, doesn't he? It's what he did with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. He goes for his improved version, and Ricochet has got to come in and join that team. And then
that's sick.
You have a hell of a 6-man there.
That's fucking sick.
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, that would be sick. Are they going to debut Ricochet like that? I've never thought of that. Yeah,
Ricochet as a heel?
I've thought all along he's going to be Callis' replacement for Ospreay. That's because
he's the Ospreay killer.
Yeah, he's his new and improved. Because that's what he'll do. He'll say, I've got a better version of Ospreay, and then you bring Ricochet in, and then that just sets up a hell of a series of matches. You've got your 6-man.
Yeah.
You've got your Ospreay, Ricochet, and you can have your Ospreay. Ricochet, Carl Fletcher have put a fucking hell of a match on there as well.
Takeshita and Ricochet as a tag versus Aussie Open. Yeah. Oh my god. You know what, mate? I think you're onto something there.
What if they do it like this? Bear with me too quick. Slightly boldly again. Pretty spot on. But what if you've got the Will Ospreay MJF match at Wembley? What if Will beats MJF? Then MJF's doing the beatdown. The Don Callis family come out, start attacking Will with MJF. Fletcher and Davis make the save. 2 weeks later, you've got All Out. You do that trios there. You do Aussie Open, and Will against MJF, Ricochet, and Roosh.
Oh, we got about Roosh, didn't we? Yeah, we've got about Roosh.
Fuck, he's been with the Callis family, hasn't he? He's been kind of there on the sly.
Yeah, do you know what? I completely forgot about that. So, well, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
I think MJF's beating Ospreay anyway. I think it's going to be we're going to get the cheers when Mariah wins, and we're going to get Bryan Danielson sending us home happy. But I think Ospreay's going to be the one where the fans are upset. I think MJF's win.
To be fair, it works even if MJF wins.
Yeah, it does.
One of those ones. It's one of the matches that's really hard to call. In fact, a lot of that's the thing. Apart from maybe the TBS title match, you can't really predict what's going to happen now. The women's title match. Apart from that, you can't really predict which way it's going to go.
The only guarantee from MJF and Ospreay is a 5-star match.
Yeah.
You were saying about Pac earlier, Mike. Yeah. Do you think he sort of gets involved somehow because he's sort of staked his claim, hasn't he, when he won that international 4-way match on the Dynamite where everyone wrote essays. It was the one that made them start their homework. He won an international qualifier, didn't he?
That's a good shout, that, because that's a way around. With MJF beating Ospreay
Pac takes the full.
Well, Ospreay, you could have Ospreay playing the cowardly heel, doing what Flair did a lot in terms of hiding back and letting the others beat the shit out of each other, and him getting a sneaky pin after one of them's hit the finisher. And then that way MJF doesn't, kind of gets away with doing a heels day's work, just hardly editing on the sly, hanging around, wasting time, watching them put all the efforts in themselves and going and stealing the win. Runs away with the title, gets his gas mask because he's fucked.
No, Ospreay, he's kind of that clear-cut babyface now, and at Wembley, everyone's just going to be cheering him no matter what he does. So
that's why I think he's going to lose.
Yeah,
I think we'll eventually get the Osprey Wembley win, whether it's next year or they skip it and do it the year after. But
Yeah, the
I think
world title win next
yeah,
year. Yeah,
I think that's the one that's going to mean the most, isn't it?
yeah. Win one, lose
Well-
one. You know, the Broadway next year. You know, like the trifecta, if you like, wins the world title in his own country.
Here's the question then, coming out of that. If Osprey's not the one to take the international / American championship off MJF, if you guys had the book, who would you pick?
Daniel Garcia. Yeah, Garcia all
Danny.
day.
He's coming. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's why they did the angle they did a few weeks ago after Osprey and Garcia's match. Well, they did it for two reasons. Number one, his contract's coming up soon, so just in case if he were to leave, not to resign, like you already have a written in excuse why he's not there anymore. Like MJF took him out, but it looks like it's setting up for an eventual like program with Garcia and MJF. So obviously, I say MJF wins at All In, and I don't know. I would hold off. I want to do that match at All Out. I would do. You could run that match as your main event for Grand Slam.
Yes.
Next month. I mean, yeah, I would give it a little more time, give it a few more weeks to build up. But yeah, Garcia has got to be the one to take it off of MJF.
The thing is, when you look to All Out, they do need to to book it so quickly and to make it make sense. Because last year All Out was brilliant, but the build was a shambles. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, All In build was was pretty poor last year. Let's be perfectly honest. But I that's why I do think I think that I'm looking ahead thinking what are they going to do there. Again, someone's going to fight. I think Danielson's going to fight again. I'm going to push this Casino Gauntlet because I'm going to will it into existence. But I do think they're going to end up doing that. And I think Moxley will win that and face Danielson at All Out. I do think that they'll have Garcia return at Wembley, the following week. And I think we'll get MJF v Garcia at All Out because otherwise you're looking at them either rushing matches or it's going to be a bunch of rematches.
I don't know what's been said because I went to the toilet, but you could do the...
Was that a Urethra Moment again, mate?
The Don Callis family stop Fletcher from helping Osprey, which then leads to costing Osprey the match. Then you get the Don Callis family plus Ricochet versus United Empire at All Out, and you also get Garcia versus MJF at All Out.
Yeah, that's all that's been said. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the only thing I'd add there to what Mark just said and Blake is that I think that's too soon for MJF to drop the title. I think with his current gimmick and what he's doing, I think I would keep it with him for a bit longer and have him really run it into the ground. You know, because
Wait until you bring Garcia back then.
So then you could for All Out you could do MJF and Pac because remember he has the he does have the international title. You could do Pac and MJF. And you know what? You could bring back Daniel Garcia at All Out actually after he beats Pac for that moment and start building that feud from there.
Yeah.
Another one that I've been seeing as well, and I don't know whether I'm just getting ahead of myself here, but Pac obviously I don't think his story's written yet in terms of what he's doing at Wembley because he missed last year due to injury. And this year they've almost been protecting him almost. Things like just don't get hurt before because we've got something planned for you. What if he says, well, if I'm not going to get my international title shot at Wembley, I need something. Boom, out comes Ricochet, and then that's how you've got the Dragon Gate dream match that that we all know and love. But again, there's so many routes you could take, but there's only so much time on the card. But hey, we're all going, so it's all going to be a laugh no matter what.
Well, Pac could do. He'll put his title opportunity on the line. So
Yeah,
a bit of stakes in the match.
You could also with the Garcia thing as well. He could come back and want MJF, and MJF's like, fuck no, you're at the back of the queue, mate. You got to earn your way, and then that could set up a series of, a couple of months of Garcia trying to work his way up these rankings, whether they exist or not, to get another shot at the American title.
It could be. The only problem with that for me is that they kind of did that with Garcia in last year's Continental Classic. But I get what you're saying. That is an option, and
it's a different Garcia now though as well. I don't think he's going to come back dancing. I think his dancing days are done.
He's
I
going
think
back
he's a
as
bit
a
more
Red
serious.
Death.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a pro wrestler, not a sports entertainer. He's been finally sort of holding on to that, and he's just going to let it all out. And no pun intended.
You know what? You could have a tie-in with Danielson when Garcia comes back, because like I think Blake just said, like he won't be dancing when he comes back. Like this is about the time where Danielson's almost about to hang him up. Basically almost retire.
Passes the
You
torch.
can
The torch,
you can
yeah.
passing the torch. Like you're Matt. What? Just hear me out. What if he passes along the name American Dragon to Daniel Garcia? What if he passes that? Like,
There was also teasing something about when Danny Garcia was tagging with Shibata for a bit, because then he started wearing the black trunk. Being Shibata being like a mentor to him would be be awesome.
Well,
as
him and Shibata and Danielson, they're both the wrestler in a sense. So you can incorporate them both like kind of like as a passing torch moment. Like they both dub him like he's the next wrestler. He's the successor to the wrestler to the wrestler tagline going forward.
Well, you remember a few years ago when we was all on about Daniel Garcia joining the BCC?
Mm-hmm.
You could do that, and he takes Danielson's place.
I think the BCC.
Be honest,
I think it's.
I'm not sure the BCC has much long left.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to implode?
Claudio looks like he's going to be the one to break the mold.
I hope so, because like I want Moxley to go back to being the old John Moxley now. As he was when he first joined AEW. I think it's just that the BCC stuff's just got really boring. It's just there's no point of them even being together.
Absolutely,
Well,
the only
because
thing
I think
Yuta disappear. Like I don't see where he goes after this. But saying that, the group have done literally nothing for the best part of a year now.
Yeah.
I think they're waiting for the right time to do something with them, but I don't know what you do with them.
Well, Wheeler's in Ring of Honor right now. Claudio is kind of like floating around. We're not sure. And John has a much deserved vacation. I think in a way the group is kind of not officially like disbanded, but yeah.
Maybe it's done when
it feels like the writing's on the wall, really, isn't it, at this point? But I mean, Claudio, like we were talking about Brian Cage. Claudio again. Collision had the banger with Ishii and Lee Moriarty. They had a triple threat match on. Again, and they just knocked it out the park. So Claudio at least has some kind of direction, because they sort of marketed it as a continental title qualifier almost. So we're getting Okada and Claudio down the line. Whether it's at Wembley or not, I don't know. But again, Claudio just right now just needs something to sink his teeth into.
Back on Garcia, like, what did you not think of all this bullshit about like that went all the cunts on the internet talking about his contract? Because at the end of the day, I don't know if any of these fuckers watched the shows, because they didn't stop talking about him. They were constantly on about Garcia on commentary. They had a fucking YouTube show. Yeah. They had a YouTube show with fucking Renee and Daddy Magic, where the whole point of that show.
He's being mentioned on there. He's obviously he's obviously staying.
Well, the whole YouTube fucking show with Renee and Daddy Magic was literally a fucking Daniel Garcia, promo. It was like it was like talking about how he's been on to touch with his mum. He's still not got feeling in his legs. We don't know when he's going to be coming back. And you've got people on the internet seriously thinking that he's not re-signed or signing. Oh, he might be going to NXT. If he was going to NXT, you wouldn't have the commentary constantly talking about him for the duration of fucking Dynamite.
100%.
Like, I believe his contract.
For years that he's the future of AEW. Tony's been saying it. They've all been saying it. He's going to be the guy in a few years.
I believe his contract. I believe his contract was coming to an end, or is coming to an end. But I would 100% believe that Tony has got a verbal agreement with him or something, or said to him, "Look, whatever they offer you, just come back to me and we'll sort it out." Because no way he's going to let him go.
It's one of them. Like they've already positioned him like very clearly as one of the new four pillars, if you like, alongside like Hook, Moriarty.
Did you just say Hook?
Wheeler. Yeah, Hook.
Oh, man, that's a fucking pillar. This house is falling down.
I'm just reporting what people have said. Like they've said Hook, Garcia, Moriarty, and I think it's Wheeler. Wheeler Yuta.
I mean that's not good enough for me personally. I'm all for I'm Garcia, but then you've got to have Mariah May on there.
Yeah.
Sure,
Nick
sure.
Wayne.
That's more like the 410.
I'm just reporting what people said. Yeah.
Ospreay and probably Swerve still. Then, if we're going to go with 4 new pillars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
I'm just sort of feeding back what people are sort of, talking about. But yeah, Garcia's leagues ahead of the rest of them. I mean, Moriarty's great, and I like Wheeler, but Hook doesn't really do it for me at the moment. But
Do us a favour, mate. Have a look through who said Hook and let me know so I can block all the fuckers.
All right, you're gonna have to block me then, Andy.
Do you think Hook? You really think he's? Man, he's so one-dimensional.
No, just bear with me a second, Andy. Yeah. I'm gonna half get on my soapbox for the first time. Yeah, I actually think, and again, by all means, we'll disagree. We'll have a discourse about it. I think the work he's done with Joe and Shibata has elevated Hook quite far. It's not done yet, don't get me wrong, and he's the worst out of that 4 of, Moriarty, Hook, Garcia, you know what I mean? I do think he's the lowest at the moment, but I think working with Hook and Shibata is the exact pairing that he needs to teach him how to be limited, but excel.
I think if anything, they've shown him up. I think
I don't think he's
shown his
limited,
weaknesses
though.
even up more. Because
I
mean,
just
there was
don't
that
think
match.
he's shown us what he can actually do.
Well, I hope that's the case, but I think being in with them has shown him up for his weaknesses even more, because the match on the pay-per-view, I think it was the 3, was it a 6-man? I can't remember. And there was a point in the match where he literally did not know what to do, and you had Jericho on the floor, and he was kind of trying to fucking motion to him, look, just fucking grab me, and Hook's kind of stood in 2 minds of fuck what to do, and he completely just lost his train of thought.
He's still young, he's still a bit green, and
I'd love him to turn out great, mate. But at the moment I just don't see it, and the not talking thing will only go so far. He's got such a low ceiling to me.
Where he should be in Ring of Honor and Wheeler Yuta should be on the main roster.
Yes, 100%.
Because Wheeler, he was green, but since he was been with the BCC, he's been really good. It's a shame he got injured because he would have been light years ahead of where he should be.
And he's not that bad on the mic either.
No, he was going into his own before the injury.
Should Hook abandon the affiliations with Taz?
I think he should go to Ring of Honor. I think that's a great idea.
I don't think he abandons that, but I just think he needs a few years in Ring of Honor. Not even a few years, maybe just a year.
Have him as the pure champion or something, because he's got that pedigree to him or something. But
that's what you did. That's what they did with Wheeler, and it elevated him.
I've seen people say
he got to learn how to cut promos properly. He got to learn how to actually wrestle in front of a live crowd properly.
I've seen people suggesting Hook should go to NXT. I don't even think NXT would have
shit.
But would they have a position for him? Because he just doesn't fit for me at all. What they'd have one clip of a suplex that'd go viral on Twitter because someone would be like, "Holy shit, Hook!" and then that'll be it.
Not even that, just a clothesline. They'll get gassed about that.
No, he's gonna hit someone with a wrist lock, and Mark is gonna mark out.
Here he is.
Literally, I'm convinced NXT fans. Do you remember when MJF had that gimmick with Darby Allin about beating with a headlock takeover?
Yeah.
I'm convinced NXT fans thought and would think that was legitimate. And be like, holy shit, MJF's got the best headlock takeover. Look how crazy this fucking headlock takeover is.
If he was on NXT, they would, yeah. If he was on NXT, they'd all be wanting kangaroo kick finishes every week.
Well, we're going to get that on Wednesday when he fights Kyle. He's going to be doing it. But
I don't think he's going to do it, I think
he's going to tease them, and then he's going to flip them off or something.
Yeah.
He'll tease him. He'll drop to his knees, low blow.
Yeah.
So, for this next session, as everyone knows, weekly we like to ask for questions from our fans. So we're just going to properly go through some of them now. And the first question is from Kev O'Connor. Kev_OC66. He says, who should be top fella? He said, who should be number 1 contenders for each belt after All In, All Out?
Oh, that's a good one.
After All In and All Out, okay.
Should we run through the belts and all just say a name each?
Yeah.
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
Well, world title from top. So yeah.
Go.
Moxley.
Yeah.
Garcia.
Just because if Bryan Danielson wins, then yeah, Moxley seemed to me like the number one choice.
Hangman.
Yeah, Moxley for me.
Depending
Hangman
on
for
who
me then.
wins, Moxley or Hangman.
I would say Moxley.
International. I'll go with Pac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like the most logical one.
I'd say Pac as well.
Yeah, Pac.
Pac
Yeah,
across
makes
the
sense.
board.
Number one contender, so yeah, makes sense.
TNT.
I'm assuming
Yes.
Perry's going to win, so
Oakland.
yeah, if he's fit, that makes sense.
Because he never lost the belt, did he? He had to vacate it. Seems like a
Good
natural
shout.
thing. This is why I think the Christian thing is still there's a nuance to that story. But yeah, Oakland's for me.
I don't want to. I don't like retread and stuff, but Orange Cassidy. I
Still
would.
switch.
He'll switch.
Uh,
Yeah, very good.
Actually, yeah, good one. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Copeland also. Yeah.
Men's tags.
Aussie Open.
Oh.
Aussie Open.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, I'm going to jump on that.
Aussie
bandwagon.
Open.
Yeah, Aussie Open unless Dax's fridge is a bit low and he needs to feed his family, in which case I'd go FTR.
He loves
Nah.
AEW.
I'm
Love
gonna
AEW.
throw.
He
I'm
loves
gonna
his
throw a wrench.
business.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in there. If the young Bucks have the title after All In, Motor City Machine Guns.
Reckon
Oh.
they've signed? Do you reckon?
I have no clue, but I'm gonna just roll the dice. I'm gonna
It's
say
one of them. I just want them to sign somewhere now because I'm fed up of sort of seeing all this
Same.
speculation. Yeah, I just
Oh.
like look somewhere. I don't care where it is, but yeah, I'd love to see him in AEW though. Just
I've got a
that
different
match
one.
with the Bucks would be nuts.
Well,
If it is Young Bucks retaining, Golden Lovers.
Oh, actually, yeah.
that's not a bad
Because
chance.
Kota looks really fit right
Yeah.
now and he looks really good in
This,
ring.
I was talking about this with a friend of mine. Like, yeah, he had the return match in DDT and he looked great.
You
but
look
I
great.
just think he should just have a couple of matches this year and then maybe wait to go back full time next year, just so he doesn't risk aggravating anything. Because we know what he's like.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I-
you're
I-
probably
I-
right on that one. You could do the Kenny Okada thing first and then make him move
Yeah.
on to the Young Bucks next year.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Sorry, Mike.
Continental.
Oh, Continental. Well, Kenny, I think that's the most natural
Yeah,
opponent.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny. Women's World.
Mariah.
Mina Shirakawa
Ooh.
at Wrestle Dream.
Oh.
Tony.
Yes.
Ooh. Mina beats Mariah at Wrestle
No,
Dream.
not beats, just faces. So because
Fair.
Wrestle Dream's the tribute to Antonio Inoki, and they're doing it in the
so
US,
we're
and
going
she
with
dropped her
Mariah's
Stardom,
won it.
Yeah,
dropped
actually,
her
that's a good.
Stardom title, didn't she?
If we're going with
That's a-
Mariah wins, then Mina, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Mina with Tony getting a shot after Mina.
Yeah, I'll go Mina just to make it a pretty much clean sweep, I believe.
Yeah, if I say anything else, I'm just going to sound like a bit of a dick. So yeah, makes sense, Mina.
TBS.
Jamie
I'll
Hayter.
go. Yeah, Jamie Hayter.
Julia.
Julia.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could go either way. To be honest, that's a bit more unpredictable.
In fact, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
changing
we
my
don't
mind.
know.
I've just changed my mind on the TBS. No, Jamie. Yeah, obviously. Like a big fan.
Well, yeah, if we go into the trios, then for me, Shibata, Hook, and Joe.
I agree.
Obviously, as long as they're facing some heels, as long as heels win it. If it's faces, I don't know.
The Daddy Ash and the Acclaim. No,
Shut
no,
up.
no,
I'm
the
gonna-
guns. The guns. well,
Death
I'm-
Triangle.
Oh, God.
The conglomeration for me, I think they're next in line.
Yep. Conglomeration. Yep.
Would you
Great
think
shout.
Briscoe will be okay holding trios titles? I know he doesn't want to hold tags, but as he's still technically sort of a tag division, do you think he'd still be okay with it?
He said he won't do twos, but he'll do anything else.
Oh, he did. Yeah, right. My bad. Ignore me then.
I think it was going to be Hook eventually, innit? Like whenever, however many
Yeah.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah, the FTW just kind of doesn't. Yeah.
It's not a real belt. It's just like part of a, of
Could
an
be
angle, isn't
Shibata.
it? I'd have loved it to have been Suzuki, to be honest, but
Oh, Minoru.
I think they're just waiting for Hook, aren't they, to get his win back.
yeah. Hook will win it by setting Jericho on fire or something because of the fireball.
Yeah, with his own flamethrower.
Now we're getting that at Wembley when fucking Derby does it. Right.
Yeah.
Next question. From a big fan of the podcast, Jamie Jacko at JM Mildo2. He says, "Who's the best ever AEW champion? Any belt, any reign."
Kenny Omega. Bell
Kenny
collector.
Omega.
I'm going to go a slightly left field one. I think Orange Cassidy's international run because of
That's
the
a good
banger
one as
matches
well.
we had.
That's what I was going to say. Cassidy, just on a match level, yeah, Cassidy
Nice.
for me. On an overall level, despite the end being bad, MJF.
Lee's first international reign was what I was going to say, so I'll agree with Dan.
Well, hey.
Brett.
I'll say Omega as well. And just a quick sidebar: if CM Punk never came into AEW, like I think Hangman would have had a great run.
Yeah. It was getting there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was
Worst
robbed.
booking mistake Tony's made.
Yes, 100%. He was robbed of a generational run.
Yeah.
Right. This next question is from Ric Flair Andy. Andy
Who's
Ric
he?
Flair.
Who's he?
Why do so many fans refuse to admit they're being worked? How would we describe them?
Because they're a bunch of fucking cunts. That's why.
Just the fucking.
Tell us how you
stupid.
really feel.
But they are. They're a bunch of absolute fucking bellends. Like this week's been an example of it. They think they're watching some reality TV show at the end of the day. Like they think they're watching Love Island or Big Brother. They feel like they need to know everyone's personal lives. You've got there's some dude on Twitter there getting angry because he thinks MJF's he's too much of a heel. Don't like him. I was like, but that's what a heel is. Yeah, but like he's probably like that for real. How do you know? Nobody knows what he's like for real. No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
You stupid cunt.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't let. And they go, oh yeah, but I like other heels, like Roman or whatever. It's like what? Like there's a world of fucking difference there. Nobody knows what MJF's like in real life. At all, and it's brilliant. And I wish more would be like that. And I thought the days of people thinking wrestling was real, or the real aspect to it was gone. But clearly not, because after that Mexico promo, people are now thinking MJF's a raging fucking racist. It's just fucking hilarious. Like you can't make it up.
Maga Max.
And this is on the back of these fuckers in midweek getting a sniff of a story and then saying, pulling out all the threads. Like you are not fucking Columbo. You are a fucking Mark sat at home putting all these fancy ideas in your head. Like fucking, what was it? So Britt Baker has randomly had an affair with Hobbs, which is why Adam Cole is now driving a removals truck on his own across the country to move somewhere else with all his gaming gear in the back. And then MJF is in the meanwhile because of that, because they're really best mates. It's not a storyline. It's not a work. It's real life. They're really best mates. So he's really still gutted about that, even though they fucked him over. He's still hurt. So then he barges into the women's locker room, starts punching people left, right, and centre. Starts doing a Tong Po and knocking all the posts, punching them. Fucking Van Damme pops his head around and sees all this. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then it's just mad. And then you got people boot him out. Tony, fire him. This is all real. Fuck off. Get a fucking life, you bunch of fucking miserable bastards.
You gotta touch some grass. Talk to a woman.
It's insane.
Last time these dudes touched a woman was when they were born.
It's insane. You have people legit thinking they've cracked the case. Well, if MJF bust into the locker room, then this must have happened. And that ties in with the rumour I heard a while back that Britt and Adam had broken up. What?
But look, with the last week or so in real life has proven that Twitter can just fabricate its own narrative and people will jump on board with it because people are idiots. And like Twitter's become more accessible than ever, hasn't it? And the way that people will just, people write things and people are like, you know what, that makes sense. Let's run with that. And it's very sad state of affairs.
People are like, oh, I remember someone mentioned this. That must mean that this happened. Well, fucking brilliant. That's the answer. I've cracked it. Fucking
Two and two together and make 50, don't they? They just
love it when a plan comes together.
Think they're Columbo and end up looking like the Charlie Day meme with all the fucking conspiracy board.
They're like a bunch of fucking Clusos, the little cunts.
Right, just to end on a bit more levity, the last question before we wrap up. So Talking Smack 82, what wrestlers have you dressed up as in real life, if any? Apparently he was Ultimate Warrior for his tag team.
I definitely dressed up as the Ultimate Warrior when I was younger. 100%.
I was dressed up as CM Punk when I was about 11.
the thing is, for me, I'm the same as Blake, although not by choice because I just happen to look like him, so everyone thinks that I'm him. I've got a sleeve tattoo. I've got barely
You got
any
a punch
hair.
of
I've got a beard, and
you got a punch of the face.
and I apparently like physically assault my coworkers, but I've never had that done in real life. But I think I just give that impression. So yeah, I'll go CM Punk with that one.
I was a
Hulk
Hogan.
massive
Dressed up as
CM
Mick
Punk
Foley.
fan, man.
I dressed up as NWO Hulk Hogan at a Halloween party once. I didn't racially abuse anyone. Don't worry.
We'll get some more of them at Mike's Stag Do in a couple of years' time, don't we?
Quick one, each of us. What do you think of this Shane Tony Khan meeting?
I think it's fucking brilliant, and get Shane in.
I think it's
Yeah.
Get him on TV. Get him to announce the new TV deal.
Yeah,
And
it's
say
one
like
of them.
the
I think
McMahons are
I
still
think-
in wrestling or something. Fucking shit.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm in two minds. I think I tweeted about it. I think Shane could be really, really great as a business asset for AEW. Like he knows the market. He knows like how to market a product. He's been there for decades, and he clearly doesn't want anything to do with WWE. Not that that's not warranted, but as long as he's not involved in a creative sense, and as long as he's not an on-screen character, I don't mind. I think that's great for the AEW brand.
Didn't he leave WWE like 10, 15
Yeah,
years
because he was
ago?
trying to get involved with like one Royal Rumble or something, and they were
But
having
do you
none
remember
of it, and he threw his toys around.
the end of his run was honestly, it was bad in WWE. Like his mic work when he was a heel, he was so lethargic. And like, for me, it's a massive no. Like on screen, behind the scenes, like I don't care that anyone that can contribute, fine. But for me, as an on-screen presence, it would just feel, it would just feel wrong to me personally. It would just feel wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd agree with you, Mark. If it wasn't for this one glaring storyline, like if he's gonna be an on-screen character, there's only one program I need, and I think we all know we want this. You could deny it all you want. I need him to be cutting a promo in the middle of the ring, talking about whatever, and then we hear Christian Cage's music go off, and then yes, oh man, like just. And he doesn't talk about any of the stuff that he's ever gonna do with any of the other wrestlers he works with. So, oh man, and just have somebody bedside with Vince checking his blood pressure when this goes off.
he should come out and just say, "You used to have a father, but he's in jail."
Comes out and says the only McMahon that's not racist, a sex abuser.
We think.
Oh yeah, in 15 years' time, people are gonna come out.
He probably is, to be fair. Like, but
he took a picture in the Oval Office with Trump. So for me, that's again like if I wasn't that person, I mean, I'd refuse to do that. There's nothing that would make me go in there and take a picture with that cunt.
Yeah, fair.
I would get him in, but only for the reasons that Dan said, and I think. But did you kind of agreed if you say keep him off screen in the fact that I'd imagine he has the contacts that may help Tony, and if Tony can get anything that can stop all this negative shit that is every fucking day from everyone, then do it. And I would imagine maybe Shane knows where the bodies are buried, and he could maybe stem some of these fuckers who are intent on putting shit out, because it's every fucking day at this point. You've got a new story, whether it's Scott Steiner says, I don't watch AEW, but Tony Khan reminds me. Was that Goldberg maybe, or was it Scott Steiner?
It was Steiner. It was
literally one after the other, and then you had Goldberg saying the next day saying, "Oh, I don't watch it," but and then he had a negative, whatever story on. Oh, he seems a bit like whatever, and it's like, well, you just said you don't fucking watch it, so where's the other part come from? And so I just think a lot of these, and whether it's the fucking dude with the steel chairs who was an ex-referee, or that fucker last week talking about, oh, you shouldn't use steel chairs because, whatever. I reckon Shane probably knows where the body's buried with some of these, and they probably shut the fuck up because they've all got fucking beards, haven't they, at the end of the day? And it's every day they're clearly getting that. It's that picture of Triple H with the phone, isn't it? They're clearly getting the call. Yo, Hunter, couldn't do us a favour, could you?
So that Christian Cage bit with Shane McMahon, I wrote something out, not just now, but earlier. I said, this is the perfect thing that he should say to Shane if he is ever in the ring with him. When I look at you, I think about your father, who should be dead. He never saw me as a world champion, which means that as long as you're here, I am your father now.
Yes. Someone clip that and send it to Christian.
I'm going to. Don't worry. If he doesn't, he's not really on Twitter that much, but I'll try. I'll think of something.
And he should get a card to control the on-screen information, and put a blue dot on Shane's face whenever he's on screen.
Oh yeah, blur his face.
Yes.
Anyway.
And that's this week's episode of the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all next week. And look out for the question tweet on Friday.
Peace.
And fuck Logan Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a fucking
Fuck Logan Paul.
little bastard.